Okay, well, day 3 and final day, leaving Donnybrook for the final time, so thank you Donnybrook. Nice and quiet. We had fish and chips last night which were pretty good in that park over that way. Still very windy today, so I will be moaning into Carl's ear that I wasn't cold, I was just getting blown all over the place. Yeah, look at the trees, how windy they are. Cal thinks I've been making it up, saying I've been very windy and blown around on the bike. So we're making our way steadywards north, and we anticipate getting home around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I think we are going the right way now, Carl, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
Elton John were just playing in that park there last night. Not. Cher was there too, Carl said. Oh, it's in dreamland, this boy.
Ed Sheeran was a no show.
And Ed Sheeran didn't show up apparently. Carl's about 20 kilometres further north from where I live, so he'll have another 20 minutes or so ride back home once he leaves me. At the very end of the journey, at some point, even if it's an add-in, I will let you know how many kilometres I've done, what the fuel range was, as in how many litres to 100 kilometre or how many miles to the gallon the bike did. What I won't do is let you know how much the fuel cost. Not because I don't want you to know how much it cost. I was just thinking this morning, it's pretty insignificant because fuel prices around the world presently are very expensive, and it's not really going to be a correct factor. If I said it cost X amount of money, you wouldn't know really, so unless you roughly maybe halved it, but even then it's not an accurate amount of money, is it? So I will refrain from letting you know how much the total fuel cost was. The accommodation we just stopped at for those 2 nights, that was $280 for the 2 nights. We had a single, what were they, those things? Were they, what were the queen rooms? Yeah. So we had a queen room each, resulting in being $140 per night Australian. Considering this has been the longest run on my Tiger 900 GT Pro, it's done exceptionally well, no issues whatsoever. It has come off the back of that service as well, so it had that 20,000 kilometre service. Nothing's been an issue, so nothing was a problem. Hasn't missed a beat. It's run exceptionally well, so very happy with how the bike performed. So Carl just said that his BMW has been returning on average 4.6 litres to 100 kilometres. Mine's been doing 4.55. So I believe 4.55 litres to 100 kilometre in miles per gallon is around 62 miles to the gallon. So I think Carl, would it be a tad more, might be something like, what, maybe 60 miles to the gallon, approximately. So both bikes are doing very well returning the fuel efficiency. But then it just has that slightly weight factor as a difference, doesn't it? So that's why you're probably just a tad heavier with it. I'm guessing, but I half think this was 183 kilograms in weight. It'd be over 200, I would have thought, wouldn't it? Maybe, actually, I'm probably thinking about my previous bike, the MT-07. I think this might be around 200. I think yours is around 240. I think this might be 220. I think there might be 20 kilograms difference between yours and mine, which isn't too much, is it? I can't say I'm warm yet, and it is quite windy. I was saying to Carl yesterday, because it looks like there's no wind around, the trees don't seem to sway so much, but I definitely feel a blast of air coming down it. I've never really experienced the wind so strong. I've had
The trees sway so much, the leaves aren't even moving.
Well, I'm showing the trees now. Let's see if they're swaying around a bit.
Oh, this flag's moving. Here, that flag's moving.
There you go, look at that. Yeah.
It's blowing again.
But yesterday I was saying how maybe because this is an exposed open area, the road that is, that any wind, if it's coming down, it's getting broken up by the trees, and obviously it's got a clear run, if you like, shooting down the road. I mean, look at that. When I've just put my hand back, let's relax, and that wind takes it. To me, that's quite strong.
Did you lift your hand up then?
Yeah, just relax my hand and lifted it up and let the wind take it.
Because you're moving forward at 100 k's an hour, you dickhead.
Oh no, that's not strong enough to do that. I can hear the wind swirling around as well, my helmet. For some reason again, my helmet's, I don't know, it doesn't seem to be as vacuumed, let's say, from the wind of late. I hear it whistling around, just around under the chin area around here, the sides. I have bought some new cheek pads, and they're more comfortable, but I don't think they're any less noisy for the turbulence in the helmet, so I'm not sure what that's about. Carl does actually have some earplugs in as well. We both got some earplugs. I don't wear mine because I have a slight problem with one of the earplugs being a little bit proud, and it pushes on my right eardrum. But Carl thinks they're pretty comfortable for him, so he does wear his. So obviously all that turbulence noise of the wind he won't be experiencing. That's why I think he thinks it's not windy.
There is no wind.
Carl said there's no wind. So we're begging to differ at this moment in time. It's also my very slender frame as well. I'm very petite on the bike, so I'm obviously getting blasted around. Carl, being a little bit more rotund than me and having a heavier bike, is keeping his bike more planted on the road. That's my argument. Carl was saying he thought I had a better, one of those bum bags on this morning when I had my t-shirt on. Cheeky beggar. But it's pretty scenic, this area we're in. And for anybody thinking that Australia and Western Australia was pretty much a desert, it's not quite. Lovely. Somebody camping out across the other side of that water. Beautiful. We're leaving dwelling up now, having had some camera issues. About 2 or 3 camera issues on this trip. This is the last leg now to home. Currently, I'm doing 4.95, which fluctuates. That's the current one. So I'm doing 4.95 litres to 100 kilometres. On average, it's done 4.55, which it always seems to be, which is a bit disconcerting in a way. And 380 kilometre range. So I know for well that 4.55 is 62 miles to a gallon, because I did check that one out months ago when I first got the bike, when it was showing 4.55 on average. I'd have expected, you know, a little bit less on here on this trip. Yeah. Right now, once we're cruising on, it's only 106, that's what the bike says. It just feels like it needs another gear now, you know. What's she revving at now? She's still at 4,000 revs. Sits at that. Yeah, sits at 4,000. But it just feels like she could just do with another gear. I'm still returning 4.55 on average. It never changes. I'm still at 380 kilometre range, believe it or not. That obviously must calculate from when it assumes the bike's full. So if you go beyond full, like brimmy, it'll probably still show that you've got 380. Ooh. That is the last of the road, of the nice roads, as Carl said. We're now back to the hustle and bustle of Perth. We are going to be going up the freeway, which is probably a suitable time to suggest that this is the end of the final episode, and the final episode of the road trip down to Donnybrook. So if you're stuck with us these last 2 or 3 episodes, whatever it's been, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.